Hello guys, Axel once again, and this is going to be a response to Magusx1, or better yet, another extension on his Look Back series. And if you don't know what's going on, if you're a fan of Magusx1, that Magusx1's gonna plan to do a reboot on his channel starting in September. But before that, he was doing a lot of this basically look back of how he started and what's his relationship with other YouTubers, his good friends, and to the fans. And I kind of did this before with a certain war, basically giving my thoughts about it and also an extended history of what it is. And again, it's not to attack that person, it's more of for new YouTuber trying to understand what not to do on YouTube. So, I mean, if you want to know that, that's going to be in the link. It's going to be in the description box. So, but what is it this time about this new extension? Well, it's not going to be bad, but a lot of key points, terms that comes up. And if you're a fan of Magusx1 and if you started since 2008 or before, or 2009, then you're probably going to know a lot of this YouTuber they mentioned. But for somebody who knew, you just decided to subscribe to Magusx1 because you like his work and they like who's these people? Then this is where I come in as an observer, as basically what's going on. I'll tell you about who these people are because again, like I said, quick origin. I mean, if you want to know more about it, the link's going to be in the description box. If they did start in April 2008, so a lot of those events already happening. But I was also there following a lot of these people. Some of them they a fan of, and some are just problematic people. So with that, here's basically an extension of some of the key people that basically why they sign up or they join YouTube. Alright, first thing what Megan said was, oh, why did I sign up for YouTube? Well, I was inspired by one person, Jedi. And you kind of hear this name again and again. Jedi1. Oh, yeah. Remember Jedi1? Oh, yeah, like what Jedi1 did. And so the question is, who is this person? Who is Jedi1? Well, even before I started YouTube, Jedi1, I think he started in 2006, 2007. He basically what he does is he mostly talks about video game and wrestling. I didn't really follow the guy until later, and if you still want to know this guy, his YouTube channel is still up, but the guy doesn't do videos anymore, and I'll explain what happened to him. But yeah, Jedi, nicest guy, and he basically what he does is again he talks about video game, wrestling. Sometimes he'll do Q&A, and very informative. And basically, this guy is to some extent what Alpha Omega is doing right now. He basically, if there's a subject that he's interested, he'll give his thoughts about it. He'll even do Q&A, and he also talks about well, one of his favorite console was the Neo Geo. So what's so good about this guy? Well, besides what he does, is that this guy is very just like Alpha Omega. This guy was very inspirational. A lot of people basically went onto YouTube doing videos because of this guy. Because this guy is nice. And like I said, this guy was also basically, when he got involved on that certain war, everything basically just stopped. People said, wow, yeah, we know this is getting out of hand. We're backing off. This is stupid. I mean, just Janet basically, when he gave his thoughts, just said, people, you just gotta relax. It's not a big deal. I think the person that created the problem wasn't thinking with a full deck, and he let his emotion kicked in. That even that guy said, you know what, Janet was right. I was a fool. That's how powerful the guy is. That guy is very influential. The guy is nice. I really never had a chance to talk to this guy, but the guy is nice, very very nice, and he was very active in 2007, 2008. and I think a bit of 2009. But by 2010, I think he kind of stopped doing videos. And what happened was, and I think, and I read this in a forum that, yeah, I can't remember where it is, but I kind of read it when someone asked what happened to him. There was a forum that basically that Jedi made a message on the forum, basically just said that, yes, I am gonna stop doing videos because I don't have the drive anymore, the inspiration, the motivation to do it. I want to do something else. So, and it wasn't a bad thing. He was just tired of it. He didn't know what to do, so he was just done doing videos. So, is he gonna come back? Who knows? As of right now, he still never went back to YouTube. But this guy basically was so influential that a lot of people joined YouTube because of this guy, Jedi1. And again, link's gonna be in the description box for Jedi1. And then another name that people should know even by now. If you don't know, here it is. The AVGN stands for the Angry Video Game Nerd. James Rolfe, the owner and excuse me, and the producer and the owner of Cinemassacre with its best friend, Mike Matei. Okay, everybody should know who this guy is. This guy made an impact, not just in YouTube, but in video game history. That, as of right now, he's really popular. And he didn't intend to make it popular, but he did, and I'll give my thoughts about it. So, for people like you really don't know who the AVGN or James Rolfe. Okay, first of all, we'll start. Who's James Rolfe? Well, he's basically a filmmaker, and not just like anybody just make movies on YouTube. This guy was an actual, to some extent, a, let's just say, semi-professional filmmaker. He actually went to school to learn film, to make movies. And of course, one of his biggest dreams was to do the AVGN movie, or let's just say to make a movie, but it was in AVGN. And he did it. And if you want to know about that history, you're probably going to Google it. I don't have to really say anything about it. The gist of it is, he was asking for money. Well, let's take it back. There was a there was a crowdfunding, and people supported him, and he was managed to do his movie. And so far, kind of interesting to watch. I don't know. I'll just wait until 2015 when he basically willing to show it for free. Because right now, as you can only watch it on selective theater. The end of 2014 is going to be DVD and Blu-ray from what I heard, or even streaming. And then I think a year from December, I don't know, he'll probably post it in Cinemassacre. So, but that's a different story. And if you want to know about that, you could just Google it. So, anyway, back to my story. Yes. So, one of the characters he did that basically benefited the gaming community is the Angry Video Game Nerd. Before that, he was the Angry Nintendo Nerd, because the reason is the the premise of the character is that he's a nerd because he has glasses, like your typical nerd look. Oh, you get the glasses, you got the pen, Urkel, and basically, and what he does is he plays bad video game, and he talks about it. And he did it. The first one he did was Castlevania, and he did it, and then he put it on YouTube, I think, in 2006. And then what happened was a lot of people who got interested said, "Oh, are you going to do more of this? This looks interesting. Man, you should pursue it. This is actually a good character." And at the time, James said, "Yeah, he just did it for fun. He didn't know he was going to do it." But then after a while, he said, "Yeah, I'll do more." So he did 2 more. I think one of them was Dr. Jekyll and Hyde in TMNT, the NES version. And then finally, and it got too popular. So at that point on, he said, maybe I should make a series about this. So, and since now he's making basically money on the character and it's becoming some sort of a business, he had to change the name from Angry Nintendo Nerd to the Angry Video Game Nerd, because Not because now he just doesn't play bad Nintendo games. Now he's playing bad video games. And the concept of playing bad video games and giving your thought, you say, "Wow, James invented this." Well, sort of, he did. What he did was he revolutionized playing bad video game and reviewing it in video form. The first person actually who did this was Sean Baby. Yes, Sean Baby, basically a journalist, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but his gimmick was he played bad video game. And if you want to read this article, I think for a while I have it it was in an EGM magazine, Electronic Gaming Monthly. It's before the internet era. I don't know what happened now with him, but he started that gimmick. What James did, he basically revolutionized it and made it into a video form. So, kind of like what Nintendo did with video game. They revolutionized what video game is, but they didn't invent video game. It was the Odyssey. Ralph, forgot his last name. I do apologize. Invented video game. So that's basically what the angry video game nerd is, James Rolfe. But because of his video, this is when a lot of YouTubers, especially starting in 2006, 2007, 2008, decided to sign up and make their own video. And of course, one of them is Alpha Magusx1. Yes, Alpha Magusx1 was inspired to make YouTube video because of the AVGN. Another one is the guy I follow, Big Al. He used to be known as Big Al 2K6 because he started in 2006, and then he had multiple channels because of, well, let's just say because getting suspended, closing his account. But as of right now, he's called Big Al. I followed him since 2008. Funny guy. He also was inspired by the AVGN. And here's another, like, some sort of transition to AVGN or James Rolfe. There was another guy that MmGS basically mentioned, and that is Magusx1. It's another guy that basically is a YouTuber. I don't know what happened right now with him. He basically what he did, what AVGN does. He was inspired by what AVGN does. So he did his own version of reviewing bad video games, but instead bad, like, current video game. And like his gimmick, I think, from what I heard, was he was supposed to be pissed, and that's what the reason why it's called Magusx1, I think, because Magusx is, like, I don't know what the story behind it. I'm assuming 21 because at the time he was 21 years old. My thoughts about him, like I say, nothing personal. I tried watching his videos. It wasn't for me. But the guy's not a bad guy, I can tell you. But it's one of those guys that, well, yeah, it's hard to say because I know from fact that if you're trying to call him out, he'll probably call you out too. There's a lot of situations when he did that, and yeah, like I said, not really a fan of Magusx1. I think the guy's okay because, like, in the situation when people call him and that'll be another story, is when people were calling him a ripoff, he would just say, come on, man, you gotta chill with that. But also, what I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that James actually sent him a message saying, just don't worry about it, do what you need to do, and just screw the haters. So again, back to James. Again, he was very influential. People were doing their own version. I know there was another one called Sega Kid. And yeah, they did it also. And I mean, there are also backage of what happened with the AVGN and ripoff. If you want to know about that, the gist of it is, after a while, the AVGN fans were calling other people ripoff. Oh, just because James doing it, why should you do it? And basically what happened was people were discouraged and said, forget this if I'm going to be attacked. And again, just like that particular video I did about the war, it was basically the culture of YouTube was different. People were taking it too personal about it. Not now, which is good. But yeah, and people even brand them the AVGN fans. They call them the AVGN Nazis. That even Big Al basically made a rant about it. And if you don't know what AVGN Nazis are people that are a fan of AVGN, that they're trying to protect him. That, oh, you can't do what AVGN does. And the thing really is, it wasn't really helping AVGN. that from what I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that at one point James Rolfe basically made a video and just told the fans, dude, you gotta chill out. If they want to do it, it's still within their right. It's called a parody. Just gonna chill out, man. If they want to do it, they want to do it. And the thing about James, that's what people have out of respect for this guy, is this guy never gets into internet drama. Like, if there's a problem that revolves him, he'll just turn the other cheek and just basically ignore it. He just let it just fade away. Just let it die down. He doesn't want to get involved. And especially with the story with the AVGN versus the Iron Gamer in 2008. And the gist of it is, there was another guy called the Iron Gamer, and in 2008, he was kind of trying to copy the style of what James does, but he really kind of do what he was doing. And the reason is that the Iron Gamer, for a while, he was trying to find his footing. It just took him longer than he thought, but now he's finally doing his own thing. And if you want to know more about that, I would just Google it. AVGN versus the Iron Gamer. And another one is that Jericho Squink, of another former YouTuber, is no longer on YouTube. This guy basically made a 10-part video of the Iron Gamer versus the AVGN. It was very informative. And if you want to know what that one is, if I remember again, I'll put in the link. So, I think there you have it. The most important key people in 2008 that basically got a lot of become YouTuber. A lot of people signed up for YouTube and do videos. Because Jedi1 was one of them. Magusx1 was inspired by Jedi1. That's what he was doing in the video. Another one is the AVGN. Because of what he does. And also, believe it or not, RMake21. Yeah, believe it or not, RMake21 was inspired by the AVGN, but there were a lot of people who were inspired by RMake that they went into YouTube. And again, like for James Rolfe, the AVGN, that's why, if you notice, Alpha Omega Sin, because he basically that's why he went to YouTube, because of the AVGN. I know Big Al, and probably some other famous YouTuber, maybe not, maybe so. They also basically were inspired to go to YouTube because of the AVGN. And as for me, and I said this already in my origin, that I wasn't really inspired by either or. It was more of some other people doing retro gaming, and also a G4 show called Cinematech. Then I was inspired myself. Okay, I'll try this YouTube thing. So there you have it. Key people that Magusx1's talking about it on his look back. So I'll probably try to provide the link in the description box if I remember. Jedi1, the AVGN, Jericho Squink, and Armic. Because, I mean, a lot of it were some bad things, but there's also good things about it. So I hope this helped an extension of who these people are that Magusx1's talking about in his look back. And also, just a preview, that if Magusx1 actually gonna do a special look back on when Magus quote unquote died. And if you don't know what that is, it was a prank during the summer, but it kind of went too far. And from what I heard from Magusx1, that the two culprits are willingly to talk about it on his look back. So if Magus actually does that, expect me to do like my thoughts and response to it, and what my thoughts about it. And I can tell you now, funny maybe, it just wasn't cool. Well, that's it for now. I'll see you guys later. Bye.